is the historic volatility market update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. Don't know what to do? Don't worry. When no one knows what to say, I do. That's been my job for 30 years in volatile markets, and I am here to help you. If you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live. And if that content works for you, keep that algorithm moving. Hit that like button. We're going to go over something today. It's going to be called composure so you can hodl. This is called shake you out, and who knows, they may have one more shake you out. But red ink from this point forward is now your friend. And if you're wrecked, faith is required. It is. You got to adjust your position, move to stables or Bitcoin if you need to, so that you can stay sane. 6 months from now, you're going to be like, I can't even remember all the reasons why everybody was selling in mid-April. Just as a reminder, this show is brought to you by my Patreon group, patreon.com/unhingedcrypto. We have this flashy QR code on the stream, and the link is down below. The Patreon group over the weekend got the top charts, top altcoins at the bottom, along with a podcast about some of the things that I did personally. So please check that out. My understanding is that lunch at Taco Bell is $14. My Patreon is $15. Now, if you add the bottle of Pepto to your lunch at Taco Bell, you can join Patreon and not spend the afternoon in the restroom. We also have a store. We'll drop the link to that. That's got reports for the top altcoins for the cycle. Best time to think about altcoins. We're going to go over some today. The best time to think about altcoins, the best time to be bullish crypto is when everybody is tired, weary, and giving up. Tired, weary, giving up. Or as Buffett said, be greedy when others are fearful. Most likely what we've seen is leverage players getting liquidated on Friday, normies getting liquidated on Saturday with a splash of, oh my God, let's run the stop so that big players can get the crypto. And then today we're going to have the legacy interest rates. Oh my God. When in fact, none of this really has anything to do with crypto. And if it does, it's bullish crypto, because the real narratives have yet to be seen, or they are seen and everyone is ignoring them. Naturally, I'm going to take you through all of that today. So if you're upset, you're in the right place. Okay? Let us welcome who's on the stream. Bull Runner here first. Welcome. Steve, looking at STX, Bitcoin Cash, the Graph, Link, Maker. That's a top DeFi pick in the DeFi report in the Patreon store. Canuck Dave, Joe, Yuxel, Simone SE, welcome. Welcome. Rugby Performance Lab, Duilo. Okay. Spinachi. Invoking Spirituality. Yes. Crypto Crazy. Quiet Dawn with the Notorious love. I appreciate that. Forget about it. Big Rich. Biggest dip buyer in Patreon, most likely. BitBoy Al is here. Sir, welcome back. Big Rich. Donato, Renal Doc, KJ, right? Crypto at 2 a.m. is here. Richard Barry in the house. Tybor, Joseph from Brazil, welcome. Chase, A1, Sarah, hello. Hello and welcome to the show. News, let's go. Okay. Willie Woo, everybody's favorite Bitcoin maximalist, coming up with huge upside targets on down days. I absolutely love that. New Bitcoin ETFs brings targets to 91K at the bear market bottom and 650K at the top. So he says once all the ETFs are in place, it's up only. And when there's a crash, that's 91K. Okay. Welcoming Ali, Llama, and Driftless Crypto. Welcome. These are very conservative numbers. Why? Because global pension funds will begin to allocate money to Bitcoin. Why? Because the world needs different forms of money. That's why. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Now, how many reasons are there for that? Man, I don't know if we got enough time for that. The grocery store? How about the show on TV this weekend? Oh my God, it's the 4th installment of a global conflict that ends everything. Whatever. You know what it was? A giant stop fishing exercise. The case for the future of money, the case where there's too much debt in the world. You ever heard of yield curve control? No. Well, it's coming soon. What's yield curve control? Well, it's a form of printing. This came out maybe in a research article on Saturday while everyone was selling. And of course, there is a whole new reason why people are selling today, Monday, tax day, April 15th. But as Willie is reminding you, the amount of money that needs to find a home outside of Ninnyville, aka Legacy, is so big. Selling Bitcoin at 60K or ETH at 3K seems insane. Like, I think ETH's going to 7K just because of what can happen on base. Just on that alone. Never mind the ETFs and all this other stuff. Now, what is not helpful is Coinbase has got a Bitcoin halving commercial. As you may have heard, the Bitcoin halving is coming up. The Bitcoin halving, for anyone who doesn't know, is a supply reduction in Bitcoin that's programmed automatically into how Bitcoin works. So miners, when they make and sustain the Bitcoin network, they get less Bitcoin, making Bitcoin more scarce. However, Coinbase is running a commercials. Commercials are great. They help bring attention to crypto, but they're never bullish. That said, I've never been more bullish on like the base ecosystem, Coinbase, and find out what happens when the normie world fully discovers the need for crypto. Now, government agencies might approve the Ethereum ETF on May 23rd, according to Giga Bullish Legacy Bank, Standard Chartered Bank. And they just can't stop selling crypto. It's incredible. What do you think the legacy world and the normie world is going to do when Bitcoin makes another new high? And there are Ethereum ETFs all over the world. There's the Bitcoin ETFs. BlackRock is trying to get security tokens on chain. Why? Well, could it be there's a little bit too much debt in the world? Could it be that we're going to find out what the problem in the world really is? That interest rates are too high? And what happens when interest rates are too high? Very simple. Things break. And things breaking is good for Bitcoin. It's good for crypto. Who do you want controlling AI? Who's talking about this? No one. Which is exactly this. When it's all red and everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe what just happened to me. I can't believe the volatility. I can't believe I bought the top. You're not the only one saying these things. I'm saying them to myself. Like this pep talk, this analytical construct, it's for me and for you. I need to hear it. I need to hear myself talk. So I want to help you and me, particularly you. That's why Patreon, day after day after day, is going to be getting a stream of altcoins, because when we're done with this, whatever this is, if it takes 1 day or 10 days, when we're done with this, you're going to have 2 to 6 months to life-changing money. And if you missed the first round, they're giving you an opportunity to get in. Literally. You got to see this as like, wow, I lost money, or wow, this is a big opportunity. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Top crypto analyst predicts that the real world asset sector will be the hottest crypto sector. Anybody remember this, by the way? BlackRock was on the bid in Ondo. That's, real world assets on the blockchain. Ondo went down and then came straight back. Right now, there's a lot of volatility. Polymath is a security token company. Don't you love it how, like, all of a sudden everybody forgets what's really important? That's the thing about stress, right? It narrows your vision. And of course it does, because the stress is unbelievable. Like, I can't remember. I think the last time I saw volatility that was as shocking as what I saw was, like, I think I was at my kids' preschool graduation 20 years ago. And I looked down at my phone, and I think it was the 2011 flash crash where, the equity market just vaporized 20% in one day. That was that shocking, especially the day after they liquidated all the leverage players on Friday. But again, who cares? If you're still here and you have a portfolio that can be adjusted, or you can just be patient, if you got emotional bandwidth and financial bandwidth, even if you're running on a quarter of a tank of gas, keep going. Bitcoin helps power BlackRock to $10 trillion under management. Right. So BlackRock wants to have everybody in the Bitcoin ETF. They want the Bitcoin ETF. Why? Well, because we need a different form of money. Now, you know that. I know that. But every big institution knows that. So even though today, on April 15th, they're selling legacy today because retail sales were higher, because everyone's using credit cards, or there's an interest rate problem, or there's going to be some geopolitical theater. That's what I'm calling it, theater. If you study the history of conflict, if there was going to be massive conflict, I'm guessing we would have seen it by now. But, being hysterical, I understand. Headlines are headlines, and big traders have to take things seriously. What does this have to do with crypto? Nothing. If anything, everything that's going on in the world today is the reason why BlackRock wants the Bitcoin ETF. Just in case you think everything is okay with the economy, it isn't. As everyone talks inflation, right? Your head, the distraction is over here. They want you like inflation, geopolitics, whatever. Meanwhile, your head should be over here. Issues with debt, yield curve control, and 10% of Tesla's workforce gone. And you think Tesla is going to be the first company that has to do this because of what's going on in the economy? I don't think so. And no one's talking about this, which leads me to believe that as risk assets roll over, as they keep selling bonds, as all these things happen in legacy, we'll go over it. This is making the case that when the Fed has to cut rates, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. They're going to have to do 3 cuts in succession quickly when the time comes. Naturally, everybody's over here, just like they were in October, going, oh my God, inflation, oh my God, whatever they're going, oh my God about. Okay. And if stocks are down, which we'll talk about, great. What do you want to own? Over-owned tech stocks that have been on a 15-year bull run, or ETH $1,200 below its all-time high. Crazy. Okay, a big phone company is losing market share. Let me ask you something, folks. How long do you think it's going to take before some of these big phone companies realize that they're going to have to do NFTs, the metaverse, and crypto wallets inside the phones? How long do you think that's going to take? That Solana phone, they were selling Solana. Solana topped at like 2 something, and they were selling Solana like it was going to zero over the weekend at 115. And they're selling it again today as we speak. Solana, the cell phone, challenging big legacy TradFi tech players. Challenge, challenge, challenge. But everyone's selling. You know, this is something that I've said in past, and I'm going to start pounding the table on it more and more and more. When you see stuff like this, frequently, when the fundamental case for something truly rises up, when it becomes obvious, like BlackRock and, you know, hardware wallets in phones and the Solana phone and real world assets, you know, frequently when the fundamentals finally burst through, no one wants it. Case in point, the Google IPO. 2 years after the tech bubble, here comes Google, an internet search engine better than Yahoo. No one touched it. I was like, don't even talk to me about this. We got destroyed. Warren Buffett wouldn't touch it. I'm not touching this. And that was like the mother of all lows. The mother of all lows. 1987, down in October, double bottom in December. End of everything, right? 2 years before the start of the roaring 90s, 10 years before the start of the computer, right as Greenspan started to cut rates and was like, this is never happening again. Generational low. Right as it becomes clear, everyone's going the other direction. Everyone's selling. Sell, 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 sell. Get out. Please take this from me. I don't want it. I know what the case is, but please just take it away from me. This happens all the time, and it's happening again. Here we go. Hong Kong gives initial Bitcoin, Ether, ETF nod. Can you imagine this headline coming out without all these disturbances? Bitcoin be up 10%. But no, it's a non-event that, you know, everyone in Asia is going to get an ETF, and Hong Kong wants to revive itself as a financial center using crypto. Hong Kong's had a tough time since the pandemic. They want back in the game. Let's sell. Top crypto analyst predicts that real-world assets will be the hottest crypto sector this year. Not a word about it. You know, you can get Ondo on Coinbase. You know, Ondo went down and you had about 2 hours to get it. And they're selling it this morning. They're selling another top pick in AI, which my Patreon guys got on Saturday. You want the list of the top picks right now. Just right now. Right now. Look at this. So commodity prices have been going up. And then aluminum and nickel prices surge after a particular country in Eastern Europe is prevented from selling their metal at the London Metals Exchange. So we have an inflation problem, and the answer to the inflation problem is to use geopolitics to make the inflation problem worse. This is called policy error. What kind of policy error? I don't know. Monetary, fiscal, social, economic, you name it. I'm out of words. How much policy error do we need before someone goes, you know what? I'd like something different. I'd like a different flavor of ice cream, please. And then institutions are going to go, oh, look, they've cheapened this up 40%. They've taken the altcoins that I've got listed in Patreon down to the 62% retracement, which is the big level in crypto. Like if that level holds, it's good. You know, when Pepe first came out, it went to the 62% retracement, chopped around for a while, and then went to $1 billion. Every time I think of the 62% retracement, I think of Pepe. You know how many altcoins, how many quality, monster, great altcoins, not investment advice, are at the 62% retracement? I got the top 12 in Patreon right now. Right now. Right? So here we are. Policy error. Policy error. Oil prices drop as traders shrug off fears. You know what, folks? If there was going to be what they said there was going to be, you'll wake up and oil would have been at 150 on Friday. And if it really is what everyone's afraid it is, I guess you'll wake up and it'll be at 150 or 300. And until such time comes, my attitude is that whatever is going on over there is either A, theater, B, not what they're telling you it is. Not what they're telling you it is. Like, remember what I said? Everyone's heads over here looking at whatever. Stocks, VIX, bonds, all can be problems. Inflation, geopolitics. Name me the list of all the reasons not to get involved in crypto. I don't know. There's like 6 of them. And everyone's acting on that. Everyone's selling. Everyone's giving up. Everyone's giving up. And you know when you get involved? When everyone's giving up. When everyone's giving up. But meanwhile, you know, the signs are there. The signs are there. Okay? The signs are there. Population problems. Elon Musk has brought this up. This has a country in Europe in mind when it discusses it. There's too much debt in the world, and there isn't the taxpayer base to help sustain it. So again, what happens to the purchasing power of your money? And what happens when people come out of bonds, stocks, fiat currencies? What's the gold market been telling you for what weeks? I'm telling you, people, I'm telling you. Okay, let's see who else is here. Cathargo, Boris, Spotter Inc. in on Ondo. Lord Junta, welcome, sir. Welcome with the Notorious love. Robin, people joining us on YouTube, Twitter, Spotter Inc., Pizza Boy, Lou. Welcome to the show. Simon with the super chat. Sir, I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Llama Moon, let's buy an ocean of crypto. Yeah. Anyone talking about the AI coins, by the way? No. No. Tybor, let's fellow Litecoin bulls. You know, sir, I have a Litecoin chart that you're going to like. A1 is here. Welcome. Okay, let's go. PowerPoint. I want to save as much time as I can to try to do as much live TA as I can. This is not investment advice. Okay, U.S. retail sales up more than expected. So to the extent that, you know, we can go along with what they're telling us about economic data, if retail sales are up, it's because people are using credit cards, because credit card debt just keeps expanding. Just keeps expanding. But, you know, this is going to throw fuel on the fire of, oh my God, on interest rates, inflation, and more policy error, right? Now, this can affect the bond market. We will discuss that. The bond market is serious. Longer term interest rates going up does hurt altcoins. However, that type of thing can be a very, very big opportunity, because what can happen when interest rates rise as the economy rolls over, is that comes to a tipping point. And again, as soon as you get that headline about the impact of high interest rates for a long time, everything's off to the races. The question is, can you maintain your composure? Can you maintain your portfolio? Can you get any dry powder? Can you take tax losses in something that's not coming back and allocate it to something that is? HUT Mining, HUT 8 Corp. So they have been relentlessly selling these Bitcoin miners. I know a lot of people think the stocks are no good. There's dilution. I've heard the stories. To me, this looks like an accumulation cone. This is from Jesse Livermore's book, Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, right? You ping pong back and forth in an expanding range. And finally, when you get to this final selling climax puke, that's when you prepare for the parabolic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at them selling this thing today. Look at them selling this thing today. We're selling HUT at $12. I have long-term price predictions in the Patreon store, and I've done some of this just for the regular Patreon members. The long-term price prediction points in some of these Bitcoin mining stocks are incredible. This is the only place where anybody's going to be able to get any Bitcoin. And it seems like everyone has forgotten about it. Where is the city? Have you ever seen the city of Hong Kong? It's like 3 New York cities jammed into like a jungle island. What is going to happen when the financial center of Hong Kong wants crypto ETFs? How much capital flows into the market? Like people thought BlackRock and its ETF was sell the fact, and look at what they're doing with Hong Kong in the game. Everyone's selling. Okay, just take it from them. All right, now to a real problem. So this is long bond futures ZB. Interest rates up, bonds down. Okay, bonds down, not good for crypto. That was last year's story. So if people aren't happy with policy error, or if retail sales is high, or everyone's going ooh about inflation, bonds go down, crypto goes down. The 62% retracement in ZB is 114-ish. So we'll see if it holds. Today they're selling it. Today they're spooking the stock market. Okay, I get it. And if stocks crack, you know, crypto's going to wind up getting caught up in that. The difference is crypto will come back and they will not, because everyone has to rotate out of that because it's overbought and there's no one left to buy. And everyone's got to come over here. Or as Gary Cardone said on Twitter, and I wish I had said this, you name it, go through the list: stocks, bonds, real estate, boats, second homes, right? Watches, you name it. People with money have got all those things to the point where it's just absurd. Absurd. They've got too much of it. There's nothing left to buy. The only thing they don't have is Bitcoin. And of course, Bitcoin's chasing everyone out of the market today. And of course, they're going to think that they don't need it when they do. Not only is it the only thing that they don't have, it's the only thing they need. And of course, they don't want it today. You're watching this 6 months from now. I hope it drives home a point that when you get these blowouts, when you get these like despair events, especially when they're like multi-day, you know, it's like the natural forces, the natural selection, right? The tree. So not only does the tree shake, but now the wind is blowing. So the tree is shaking and the wind is blowing back and forth, and you got to really hold on, right? Because you don't want to get shaken out of the tree. Because when people figure out that either this is overdone in bonds, or that the fact that there may be something wrong in bonds means that it's time for crypto more than ever. So here we are with S&P, these guys and their rate cut vapors. So this was up only since the Fed put high-powered money in the system, and now everyone's exiting. So obviously that chart is scary. Obviously, my comment on this chart is, how far do you think that the powers that be are going to let equities go down before the Fed steps in an election year? And we have seen articles, stories that, let's just say, central banks are not apolitical. They do have a bias. So, okay, equities are down today. Equities are a mess. How long do you think that's going to last before we see the Fed? Or maybe they have to have their blowout the way crypto had its blowout. Crypto will come back. They will not. They will not. Now, the contrary statement is that $1 in stocks is still better than $1 in the bank. So if it's supported by the Fed, how low can it really go in an election year? Let them sell it. Let them sell it. Meanwhile, back at the Solana ranch being the phone, right? Meme coins is the future of money and an attempt at financial freedom. Did it get excessive? Yes. Did it get out of control? Yes. Is it ever going to not be out of control? No. Will they do a Solana upgrade and fix the network? Yes. Has Solana been a buy every time everybody goes, oh my God, the network? Yes. Now, was this top created when Solana had a network problem? Yes. That was the top. That was the top. In retrospect, right? If anything, I'm kicking myself for not seeing it. This thing was on you in a hurry, but crypto had stalled. And just remember, sideways and triangular movements in crypto normally aren't good. They normally resolve themselves to the downside. But speaking of resolving yourself to the downside, there's a 9 bottom in Solana. They puked it down. These dotted lines and these numbers are drawn by an automated system from a guy named Tom DeMark. This system is designed to measure where you are in a trend. Like, are you at the beginning or an end of a little trend? Are you in the beginning, end, or middle of a big trend? It's not always obvious. You have to learn how to read the numbers. A good thing I've been doing it since 2004. This dotted line is automatically drawn by this system. And the support point to the number was like 120 in Solana. So why are we selling Solana between 150 and 120? Why? When that phone comes out and everyone realizes that, you know, people go back to meme coins, because for all the nonsense that goes on with meme coins, right, it is the little guy trying to make money or find a better form of money. More like trying to just make money. But some of these meme coins are going to become money. And in the worst case scenario, assuming they stick around, they're going to get a lesson about froth and excess and what happens when it can be purged. But again, the more caution it creates, the more pain there is in the short term. From great pain comes great opportunity. There was an old guy named Jim Grant in 2008. He runs a bond market newsletter called the Interest Rate Observer that, I don't know, it's like the first newsletter ever practically in bonds. 2008, he said, you can't believe what kind of bull market grows out of these terrible crashes and corrections. So I have no idea why everybody is in a hurry to sell Solana between 140 and 120. When Solana is at 1,000, you're going to be wondering what anybody was thinking in April of 2024. Bitcoin dominance. 57% was kind of the high over the weekend as altcoins got savaged. 58 is a possible target. It is possible that altcoins are done underperforming versus Bitcoin. Could there also be a final puke in Bitcoin? Maybe. But the altcoin pain relative to Bitcoin could be over. This is Ethereum versus Bitcoin. This dotted line was kind of the line in the sand that says ETH will stop underperforming. Like altcoins will stop getting crushed. So they crush it. And then, as you know, they crushed it again. And then ETH versus Bitcoin has actually managed to do okay. Bitcoin didn't recover much and altcoins had a decent rally. Now, if you look at a 4-hour chart of ETH versus Bitcoin, in Elliott waves, every trend has 5 waves. The 5th wave is the end of the trend. This 5 and this 0 in Ethereum versus Bitcoin is the DeMark's Elliott wave system's way of telling you that ETH is either done underperforming Bitcoin now or will be in the future. But this begs for right now. Right now. They were selling you Ethereum below 3,000. I can get on my phone and pull fiat into the Coinbase wallet and trade on Base using ETH for like $2. More than Solana, but way less than Uniswap. I mean, I can't believe there's a reason to go back to MetaMask after seeing the ability to trade with ETH on a DEX with a fiat on-ramp and off-ramp in your phone. And like the coins on that network, oh, I was looking at Degen, which is like a social media meme coin play. I started looking at it at 500 million in market cap. They took it down to 250. We'll go over the chart. Luckily, I traded out of the crash and managed to get back in. For what? For $2 on Coinbase. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's over for ETH. Really? It's not over for ETH. It's not over. There's a case for Bitcoin. There's a case for ETH. And there's a case for Solana. And everyone's selling. Bitcoin, 64,400 is a big dotted line support point on the 4-hour chart. I don't really see a point in selling Bitcoin down here. It looks like they were in such a hurry to do so over the weekend. It's shocking. Shocking. You know, Cathargo says bonds and junk bonds look horrible. Yeah, man, they do. And that may hurt Bitcoin in the short term. But it actually makes the case for Bitcoin because remember, the Bitcoin white paper was written when stocks and bonds and policy error was everywhere. They had to print money to solve that problem. How are they going to solve the problems today? Well, they're probably going to go back to doing that, assuming they can. Assuming the whole world doesn't look at it and go, you know what? This is absurd. Look at them sell this thing. Look at the candles. It's one thing to say the market's down. Look at this, a 4-hour chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 32 hours of just nothing but, oh my God. And this is Bitcoin. And they're doing it again today. Bitcoin on an 89-minute chart. In my opinion, the worst case scenario is 60. This is tactical hidden pivot analysis. So if it breaks 64,400, maybe they got to come down and fill this wick at 60. So if things happen in threes, we had a hysterical Friday, a hysterical Saturday. Sunday was the day of rest, and who knows, maybe they got to have one more day. But if they do, you got to be down there. You just got to be. It may not be today. It may not happen at all. But this live stream is the case for crypto. And there's always the case for crypto, right? Is they're just indiscriminately selling it for 32 hours. 32 hours. Here's ETH at 3,000. Last time I think we talked, I was like, wow, you guys want to sell me ETH at 3,200? Okay. I'll park some money in Bitcoin. And when you guys are wannabe ninnies, let me know. Wow, you got it at 2,900. 2,900. ETH is, in my mind, in my opinion, not investment advice, ETH is going to 7,000. 7,000. Because they're going to put it in ETFs. No one cares about that now. Too busy selling. And like I said, this base narrative for normies getting into a DEX and being able to play in meme coins and all this other ecosystem. I mean, if you went over to the THORChain ecosystem, right? I mean, I think THORChain was like top 10 at one point, right? If you have crypto native and normies in the same DEX at the same time with Bitcoin making new all-time highs, and we're selling ETH at 3,000. Somebody figured out a way to trade on ETH for 3,000. As a hedge against what's going on, instead of going on MetaMask, I went and I found a completely obscure political meme coin on Base that may or not make it, but I decided I'm taking the risk, right? In other words, I found something, I don't know, chances that it may not work out. Like I already looked at one coin on Base that didn't work out, but there will be others. Everyone's like, I'm not early. On Base, you're early. Do you realize this is not investment advice, and I don't think this is the play necessarily, but did you know that there's a Pepe the Frog on Base? It had a 10 million market cap, and then it went all the way down to like a 2 million market cap. It's a little blue frog, and they couldn't sell it fast or hard enough at the low. Big red histogram bars at the low. Just total capitulation. Now, is that the play? I don't know. I don't think so. But there are coins on Base that did well. Truflation did well. I got that chart. Why is everyone selling ETH at 3,000? Why is everyone trying to tell me that there's no future for ETH? That's insane. Not only is there a future for ETH, but Coinbase built it. It's not like, oh yeah, some random obscure centralized exchange in the Bahamas has got a DEX for coin. No, for ETH. No. This layer 2 solution, I mean, you don't even, it's like you don't even know it's a layer 2 because it's all inside Coinbase. All right, so here's the one Coinbase play I'm doing, and here's why, right? So this is the Degen meme coin. It went from 0 to 6 cents. Big players leaned on it, crushed it, right? Retail got caught holding a bag. 62% retracement is at 2.5 cents. I traded out of trouble. I have this now, and I'm going to try to hodl because they have Warpcast and another version of social media that I just can't wait to get on. Matter of fact, as soon as we're done with this earth-shaking gymnastics, if not sooner, I got to get on that because apparently this can be a way of people compensating you for your content. Now, that'll be crypto native in the beginning, but let's face it, folks. To be able to say what I want to say when I want to say it on a decentralized platform. Twitter was $44 billion when it was sold. This went from 500 million to 250 million like over the weekend, or since I started looking at it. $250 million for a decentralized Twitter where content creators can get paid in a meme coin that may wind up getting listed on Coinbase because it's on base. Now, okay, that's my book, and that's why I did what I did. So rather than go not investment advice, it's easier to talk about something that I did personally. This is actually, as of now, my second biggest position behind Bitcoin. Okay, I'm betting that these two blue candlesticks called squat bars that led to the top, I'm hoping that these two blue squat bars will lead to the bottom. That's my hope. I'm also hoping the 62% retracement holds. TAO, okay? Again, the people in Patreon, they have like a top 12. Top 12. Just big. Look at this. Look how they took it down to the 62% retracement. This is called an expanding triangle. Do you know how rare an expanding triangle is? I haven't seen this. This was the predominant formation on 4-hour S&P charts when QE started. Man, when you would test this bottom, like I learned so many lessons as a 30-year-old. Like I would look at this break and I'd be like, oh my God, it's a break out of the bottom. This whole thing's going to give out. Meanwhile, these guys that had massive conviction and knew what QE was, they would just stand down there and be like, I'm taking it all. Give it to me. Give me your stock. Give me your TAO. You realize that if the 62% retracement at 429 winds up holding and this thing actually makes a new high, that you could be talking about like $1,200 for this. And I've seen this listed as DPIN, AI, you name it. Like they wanted this. You could have gotten this over the weekend and you can still get it. I mean, this is like they wiped out everybody who has bought it since February. And again, there's 12 of these in Patreon. And you know what? I got 12 more. I got 12 more, including what I did. This is one I can't wait to do. So PAL is down 14% today. 62% retracement is at 40 cents, which is exactly where it was when I made the slide. And they were nice enough to take it down to 29 cents. You want my opinion? Straight up, not investment advice. I think this is going to go to $2. This is the top AI pick as far as I'm concerned. Me and my group. $2. That's like just in my mind randomly. And they're selling it at 40 cents. The only thing I got to do is I got to go find an exchange where I can buy it because they don't have it on Coinbase. Okay. Oh my God. Litecoin. So I joked around with one person who said, yeah, you know, sometimes Litecoin outperforms at the top. Litecoin will outperform, which it did. And then, you know, the whole market will crack and we missed it. That's true. But look at this now. Look at Litecoin all year. Start of the year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a Livermore accumulation cone. This thing's just going to go up only. I own it. I added this morning. So I bought the top and then I rearranged the portfolio. And I was like, you know what? I saw this morning at 79 and I'm like, okay, 62% retracement at the bottom of a Livermore accumulation cone. Fine. If I'm wrong, as the guy that taught me trading said once, I'll lose money. If I'm wrong, I'll lose money. If I'm right, it's going back to 400. And I just may have to put up with 10 days of whatever I got to put up with. Bull markets are not easy. They're not. I was like, oh, it's a bull market. We just ride. Yeah. No. By the time this is over, they're going to get everybody out. Everybody except me, you, and the people in my Patreon. Now, if you have to make portfolio adjustments, make them. If you have to tax loss sell something to rotate into something else, do it. If it's a bull market and you're going to have gains at the end of the year, and if you have to tax loss sell, again, it's not investment advice, take the loss and rotate into something else. Like in Patreon, like we've narrowed down 40 coins. We're narrowing it down to like 15. And we're coming out with it as we go along, including what I did outside of Litecoin. Look at BEAM. Wink, wink. Okay. Everyone's getting this one for free. This could be a top pick. This whole ecosystem. Okay. Everyone gets trapped up here, head and shoulders top. They slam it down to the 62% retracement. They try to rally it today. It doesn't hold. Fine. Let them sell it to you at a good price. Let them sell it to you at a good price. Because whatever it is they're doing in legacy or in international affairs or whatever, it actually makes the case for everything that is going nowhere but down as I speak. Render. Oh my God. This is like a $30 coin. Multi-coin capital is behind this. Do you realize that this thing was wiped out almost to the point where they brought it back to where it was like in early February? And there's a trend line from April of last year, May. I got this from somebody in a group I respect. December, March, April. Just draw the trend line. 62% retracement was $7.48. Do you realize that as of this morning, Render was back where it was when we last spoke? And if they want to sell you Render closer to 748 or at 748, spectacular. It's a $30 coin. Yeah, okay. People got trapped up here. Yeah, this was a momentum divergence. You've been paid to ignore it the whole bull market. You know, that wound up coming true. This like new high was emotional and they blew everyone out. Bull markets are not easy. The bull markets of the 80s, the bull markets even of the 90s, and of course from 2000 to 2002, they destroyed these markets for months, weeks, months, and years, only to give birth to like bull markets for the ages. And I really didn't think this was going to happen. I didn't think they could do this because of the Bitcoin ETF. Well, guess what? They're doing it. They're going to shake everybody out. I don't want that. I want you to manage risk. And I've been saying this part for a week, right? I didn't say get to the chopper. That's on me. But I did say get this thing to where you can hang on. Because look, I mean, like, look at this. So this is Truflation. This is on base. Okay. It came out, it went sideways in a square, and then it broke out. And now it's coming back and it's like retesting. So as best as I understand it, this is economic data. This is decentralized economic data with integrity. So kind of like, you know, we're not getting government data. We're not getting economic data from, we're going to get it from a decentralized universe. Now, I'm looking at other stuff. This is on base, and people like this. Like, there is research that you can do on these other chains. And if this winds up holding, and Kathy Wood likes this project and this idea, as I understand from talk. So not necessarily trying to pump any individual product, but this is on base and something is doing well in this market. Oh my God, Galaxy Digital. Look at them sell this morning. Look at these guys. Look at this red candle. Oh my God, please take my Galaxy Digital stock. I don't want it anymore. Meanwhile, it's an expanding triangle. And the harder they hit it, the more I want it. Like Mike Novogratz, the Bitcoin guy. These guys have gaming partnerships. They have an NFT gaming subsidiary, Candy Digital, that just did a partnership. No one cares. Let's sell everything. Crazy. Crazy. Okay, Robin wants MATIC. Let's take a look at it. Let's see who else is here. Okay, Krillon is like Litecoin 400. How about 600 to 700? I don't know, man. How about Bitcoin Cash 4,000? How about what happens when the normie world comes in and Bitcoin's back at 80K? What are they going to go after? They're going to go after all these PayPal coins. That's what they're going to do. But, you know, today they're selling it. They're selling it. Okay. Shake and Bake coming to us from Twitter. Okay. So let's just take a gander at, you know, what the fuss is about today. Okay, the fuss is today that in S&P futures, right? Everybody that's bought them in the month of March is now underwater, basically. Okay, so equities down only, everything down only, bonds down only too. Let's look at where ZB is just so we know what's happening. Okay, right? All these people that bought bonds up here, they got hurt. But again, it remains to be seen. ZB is around that 62% retracement level. And I think the thing I forgot to put in was VIX, right? The fear indicator. Now, just so we're all aware, VIX is an indicator of fear. So VIX number up, lots of fear. Number down, less fear. Okay, there is something called a Bollinger Band, which measures how stretched out something is. So, you know, if we're going to have a major problem, you know, VIX is now above its top Bollinger Band. And frequently when VIX spikes up like this, the second it comes back inside the Bollinger Band, it's over. Now, how long is that going to take? I don't know. But I do know that when everyone's done getting hysterical, they're going to go, why are we selling crypto? Look at this gold market. Look at this thing. Up only. Big reversal last week, back to green. You don't think there's something wrong out there? You don't think there's something going on that I'm not talking about what everyone thinks is going on? Please. Okay, I saw a request for MATIC. Okay, so this is a good time to draw the fib retracements. All right, so MATIC took out its fib retracements. Let's try another one. Now, I guess you have to be careful taking fundamental research from a technical guy. But I don't understand. I mean, I understand that optimism is connected to base, but what exactly do we need other, layer twos are great, but what do we need all of these layer twos for if we have base? Right. This is a question, right? Meanwhile, MATIC is back to where it was in June, and it's back to where it was in June of 2023. I just don't have any chart support points handy right this second. Let me draw a trend line. you're now in the let's draw something zone and see if we can find something that works. And I'm not finding something that works here quickly. I can't find it, right? Maybe this. That seems interesting. So right now, it looks like MATIC is just like they're running stops below this trend line. You know, I don't really want to sell anything, but, you know, if you gave me a choice between MATIC and Solana down 10%, I think I would go down 10%. Okay. So Crypto Crazy wants us to take a look at DXY. So DXY has become a problem for a couple of reasons. One of them is that the dollar versus the yen has broken out above its all-time high. So the Japanese were supposed to do something that supported the yen and stopped the dollar from going higher, and everyone's selling the yen. And currently that's not working out. So everybody is freaking out. This does have huge implications for Legacy, that this is breaking the all-time high, and DXY just continues to be a nightmare, up only. When people get worried about the world, they buy the dollar. Okay. So if there's something wrong in places like Japan or in Europe, I mean, maybe DXY is on a mission to go fill a gap at 106.50. This gap is from November. So this, I mean, again, this is one of the legit reasons why crypto is down. But it's like, you know, when dollar index was at 106 in September of 2023, let me see if I got the trading view skills to put Bitcoin, the Bitcoin futures contract, on at the same time. So the last time that the dollar index made a peak at 107, Bitcoin, I got this right? Yeah, Bitcoin was at 28K. So this is 28K in Bitcoin. This is, oh my God, the dollar's going up forever. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm just not buying into it. Is this dollar a problem? Yeah. How many more days is it a problem for? I don't know. How long is the bull market going to be? 20 months, based on some work that I have. How much pain are you going to have to tolerate? 5 days, 6 days. And maybe it's not just pain. Maybe it's just annoying volatility. Maybe it's just back and forth. You know, this can be what happens when you shake everybody out of the tree, right? This is an environment where traders make a lot of money, right? They bought the despair on Saturday. They sold the euphoria on Sunday, and they're probably going to cover and reverse at some point. But I don't know why we're getting hysterical about the dollar index when the last time the dollar index wound up topping at this level, Bitcoin was up only. Okay, Cloud wants to take a look at Bitcoin Cash. Let's. Because I'm telling you right now, this and Litecoin, I mean, again, so let's see what we can get on Bitcoin Cash. Boom. So Bitcoin Cash didn't quite get to 62% retracement. That was 420. Maybe they want to take it down there. Maybe. Okay. If you draw this differently, okay, it actually did get pretty close. That's 435. I mean, everyone who has bought this thing since this halving rally has gotten hosed. And then if you look, if you zoom out, which I think is very important in all these things right now, okay, this thing is nowhere near its all-time high. Nowhere near it. The all-time high in Bitcoin Cash is like 1,600. And currently, they can't stop selling it at 450. Now, you know, maybe 453 is a big level. I think I said that. And again, this is literally me figuring it out on the fly. So the area between 453 and 385, I realize that's a huge range. But folks, look, if they take it down to these levels, if they actually sell it to you at those prices, you have to take it. It's not investment advice. It's just like, look, you know, if this was the base, right? Bitcoin Cash was in this base since December of 2021. Like, this is where the give up trade started, and they crushed it and they left it down here. And now really all they're doing is they broke out, they're coming back and they're doing a retest. So, you know, either 480, 450 is the top of the base or 385 is the top of the base. What the rationale is to take it back down to 453? Well, I guess it can be a volatile instrument. I guess if people freak out, that's what can happen. But, you know, Big Rich wants to look at Gala and GRT. Gala, Big Rich, a huge proponent of the Patreon, which I appreciate. So to state the obvious, right? The bigger the base, the higher in the space. And everyone is packing it in. Let's just look at the daily chart of Gala. And I have a feeling we're going to see something similar. Okay, so Gala right now is trading below one version of its 62% retracement. Okay, if you look at the 62% retracement of its entire rally, it's 0.04. So just to tell you what a zigzag is, to do it live, okay? What's a zigzag? It's like page 20 of the chart book. This is a zigzag. Look at them selling this thing below 4 cents. You know, maybe what they got to do is they got to come down and retest the top of this old range, right? That's interesting that that point held. So that's 0.036. So we're going to completely give up on gaming. Really, are we? Now, obviously, if you bought it up here, and I did buy some stuff up there, and you're getting hosed, you're upset. I get that. I get that. The thing is, when you're puking it down here, who's down here? You know who's down here in Gala at 0.036? How about Wendy O? Who's like running a Gala node. You want to sell Gala to the Gala experts at 0.036? They'll take it from you there. They'll take it from you. Angela wants me to look at RUNE. Oh, RUNE. Yeah, because we're not doing cross-chain anymore, right? Cross-chain, what's that? We're not doing it. I mean, we're not doing it. Of course we're doing it. Of course we're doing it. Oh, my God. Look at this. Ugh. The running of the stops. 62% retracement, 485. You know, when RUNE was at 10, if I told you you'd be able to get it below 5, you would have been happy about that. Except the price action that brought it down to there is awful. It's awful. I was like, oh, wow, I can't wait till it goes down so I can buy. Everyone says that. A, B, C. Zigzag. Something to do chat GBT on. By the way, these things, like I said, I know it boomers me, but 87, right? Down, apocalypse, end of the world. Back up, everything's fine. Back down, end of the world. It's the double bottom that really makes people upset, wherever it winds up going. So everyone was like, okay, it's over. And now, okay, it's not over. Stocks, whatever the problem is today. Whatever the problem is today, I don't care. We're not doing cross-chain. Solana is not going to come back, and you're not going to need to go from Bitcoin to Ethereum to Solana. Like, I got to get over there and figure out this whole Bitcoin pups thing. Now I got to figure out, like a layer 2 DEX. I got to figure out all this on Bitcoin because I got a feeling that it's going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be Bitcoin and what's underneath Bitcoin, Solana and Base. Those are going to be the three. And even if I get smoked on Base, I don't care. I'm going in there to learn. When I go into Base to learn, like if I'm wrong on Degen or I'm long on this little coin that I'm trying, yeah. I mean, is that money, does that hurt? People say, oh yeah, I threw my lunch money in there. Yeah, but no, you don't want to put money into the market that you can't afford to lose. You don't. But you also want to be like, hey, when they're selling it to you like this, this is when you get aggressive, not at the top. When do you buy the reports in Patreon? When do you get into Patreon? At the top? Well, we'd love to have you. If you want to come in when it's up, please come on in. Come on in when it's not up, right? Look at this rune chart. Look at the chart. Look at the level. Look at this giant candle, right? Look at them sell it. Look at this. This is 89-minute rune. Wow. God, get me out. Somebody take my rune from me. You can go to Taco Bell for $15 and get the runs, or you can come to my Patreon. While they're doing this, Cryptotilly is here. What about INJ or TIA? Yeah, man. What about it? Let's go. Wow. INJ down 10% today. This was like the alpha and the omega when the bull market took off. Now no one wants it. Crazy. I'm telling you, I could draw this all day. All day. Okay, here we are, making everybody really upset, right? 62% of the whole move. Let me see. The whole move. Let's go to a 2-day chart, 3-day chart. Again, watching me figure this out live. If you like it, by the way, if you like it, folks, feel free to comment down below. Your comments and your likes, they help me. Now, I spend more time talking about my Patreon, but just remember, this free content is brought to you by my Patreon. So please feel free to hit the like button. Look at this, man. This is a 3-day chart of INJ. I'm going back to January of last year. The 62% retracement is $21. And look at him selling it today. Look at him, right? I mean, give me a coin and I'll give you a 62% retracement. Do I think seller network still relevant? Truthfully, don't know. Philip is here. Philip is here. Coval. Okay, this is again the 3-day chart. Pressing 62% of the whole thing. Right? Prior highs, prior lows, roughly 21 cents. CQT 3-day chart. Hopefully that's the right symbol. Even if it's not the right symbol, you can draw these things everywhere. Octavius looking for Caspa. Okay, another coin with epic, what I call YouTube sponsorship. Okay, again, we're still working with the 3-day chart just so I can keep it visible on the screen. This thing couldn't even get close. So I don't know. There's two ways to look at it. Either it's going to go to 0.07. That's 62% for Caspa, or Caspa is just so strong that the 38% retracement at 12 cents is what's going to hold. The way I draw these lines is either 38% holds, and if it doesn't, it goes to 62. Okay, so this is 0.122. And a lot of times when they do this, like I said, they either drop it down here or they're just doing a gigantic stop fishing exercise. Okay, Daniel J said RSR retraced. I remember some big Twitter guy looking at RSR going, you know, this was a little bit too easy on the way up. You know, that was a while ago, right? So again, RSR 3-day chart, you're getting the picture here, right? This is a 3-day chart. The 62% retracement is at 0.006. And what they may wind up doing with all this is that, you know, they could test this for days. You know, they can make you go, oh God, oh God, oh God, right? There's a prior high from February, and it's like, look at them. They're just like, please take my crypto right into support, right into support. I mean, this is going on everywhere. King Peasants in the house, NSO Skull, watching it on Twitter and commenting on my tweets. By the way, commenting helps. If you comment, I can comment back to you, give you some love, and it can help. It helps my Patreon people in that they get more value for the dollar, because the more people that come in, right, the better off we all are. Come on in, support the stream, support the group. Okay. Don't get shaken out of this market. Don't let them shake you out of this market. Why? Because the whole reason for being in this market has never been more obvious. Never been more obvious than it is right now. And that is in line with everything I've ever learned in the history of markets. At the dawn, when it is like the true play, everyone is dumping it. Everyone is dumping it, and people are going to look back on this and go, God, I don't even know why I was selling. Stay strong. We'll see you in a couple of days.